Well, hello, listeners, and welcome back to this. Welcome back. Well, yeah, welcome back to
Welcome
the
back.
episode. Welcome back. Claiming your success conversations with Caroline and Sabrina. And I know I say it all the time, but you're seeing three floating heads again. That's going to be my one liner all day, every day. And team listeners, please welcome Cass Spencer. Cass, thank you so much for joining me and Sabrina on this podcast episode today. And Sabrina, I've known Cass I went back through the WhatsApp chat because it's not been long either.
Mm-mm.
But the first WhatsApp I sent you was April 1st, 2024. So we would have only connected maybe a week or a couple of weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because a lot of my guests that have been coming on the podcast, right, I've only known them like under a couple of years,
Mm.
right? I kind of really feel like that was where I was really aligning myself with the people who I needed to be around Sabrina, or also the people that might have needed me, which is fantastic. But Cass, now we're going to hand it over to you. You're going to take the floor, take the mic, let everyone know who you are, what you do, what you're about. And I'm pretty sure after that, Sabrina's going to fire with a question.
I love that. Thank you so much, ladies. Absolute pleasure to be here with you today. So, yeah, my journey, it's long. I originally worked in the travel industry. That was my absolute passion. And I had a child and went through quite a lot and ended up working in my local authority just by default. Didn't even know what they did in the department when I went for the interview. They were like, that one where, have you got any questions? Oh, yeah, like,
Yeah,
what do you
what is this?
actually do here? Literally, my boss made me cry. So
Oh,
I was like, I think they felt like we better give her the job. Fast forward to, no, honest, true story. Fast forward 16, 17 years, and we had a local, a big tragedy that happened locally to where I live. And working for your local authority and going through that at the same time within the area was really, really challenging. And I'd always kind of been a bit like, there's something more I should be doing. Like for at least 10 years, I did an event management course. I was trying to upskill myself, but I've got into what I'm doing now in COVID, like so many people have
mm,
done, these real pivotal changes in our lives. And I really felt like, what can I do to move into the next period of my life? I'm postmenopausal now, actually. Um, and it's been a really defining time this last 4 or 5 years, with the ups and downs of life anyway. But it's been very much a case of because I've had two losses at the age that I am now. So my cousin and my mum in their early 50s. And when I was thinking about this recently and talking to somebody else, I realized I'm really been focusing on what I don't want. And
mm.
I have to reframe that and think about what I do want and remember what my goals aren't to run away from what I don't want. They're about where I'm going in my life in the future. And I've always been an employee. So thinking about, is it too late to be an entrepreneur? Like, have I got the entrepreneur mindset? And then I get that brush and I beat myself up with it because, no, you're not. Yes, you are kind of mentality. Um, so in recently, I mean, I'm working full time. And again, like Caroline said, that's how we kind of met. We met on one site or another and we reached out to each other. And it's just been a great blend of support. And it's getting that balance of working and then having the delight of actually trying to build something for myself
I love that
and everything
mindset.
else that's opening me up to. It's really challenging. And again, like I've been listening to other personal development what would you call them, experienced people, for want of a better expression, and touching base with yourselves. It's you need to, or I know I need to remind myself to focus and be consistent. And I think that's where I am at the moment, is definitely understanding my drive, because I think I really focused on, I don't want to be. I don't want to be where my mum was. I don't want to be like my mum was. But I'm not. And I said that to family friends recently. They were like, oh, your mum would have done this. And it's like, well, I'm not my mum.
Mm.
Mm. It's so
you know.
interesting, Cass. Thank you for sharing all of that with us. The
Mm.
world moves in mysterious ways, because you will never guess a message that I got from one of my clients this morning. She said, I had an aha moment last night. She went to, like, she's been really focusing on her sleep. So she went to bed really early, and she was like, I was really struggling to stay asleep because I kept having these dreams. And in the dreams, I was thinking about all the things I don't want: doubt, all the way, like, financial issues she didn't want. She was in self-doubt, she was in comparison in her dream. And she woke up and she said, I realized that my dream is a reflection of how my mindset is all the time. Like, I always want to dream about my goals and my vision and where I want my life to go. But all night, my dreams were about my doubt and my comparison and all the things that I don't want. And she said, of course, my unconscious mind isn't going to go to possibility when all the time I live in the doubt and whatever. And she was like, that was like an aha light bulb moment for me, that if I
Yeah.
really want to call forward my dreams and my goals and my vision, I have to practice thinking like that. So my default
Mm.
isn't the others. And when you were just talking, I was like, oh my God, like, that is such a powerful realization. Where do you think that
Well,
was that like a moment you realized that you were thinking that way, or is it's been gradual?
no, it's been a gradual journey, and I think it's been through talking to other people, like talking to a coach about some things to do with, progressing and doing some internal work. But also I listened to a very an expert in the field doing some interviews on Instagram the other day, and he was doing an interview with somebody who it, you wouldn't believe how much I can relate to this person, because we're worlds apart, but we're both Londoners, and we both want to give and help and progress. And he said about self-limiting beliefs, and that really, really hit home for me, because he really said, he was raised, not that somebody was pushing all these self-limiting beliefs on him, but he was raised in an environment, and I'm really, really conscious of environment, and how that can affect how you
Mm.
perceive things. And he said, to transition those self-limiting beliefs from the expectation of, like, oh, you just won't get anywhere because this is your environment, this is your outlook, this is where you come from, so you're not going to get anywhere, to actually changing that of, like, I'm releasing those self-limiting beliefs, because actually I can achieve if I want to. And his journey is really quite phenomenal. So, and it's, and then it's getting that balance of understanding. And for me, it's like listening to people to be inspired by them, and
Mm.
understand that actually if they can do it, yes, you can do it too. Not, oh God, like, I'm never going to achieve that, you know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel that resentment and that kind of without even realizing it, and not wanting it to be like a envy, but just a resentment of, oh, well, I'm never going to do that. But actually opening their mind to understanding, yes, you can. And I think certainly throughout my life, I was not encouraged to believe that the sky was the limit, or that beyond the sky is the limit. So,
Just let the listeners know what you do and how long you've been doing it for, alongside working full time.
so I work in network marketing in health and wellness, and I've been doing that for about nearly 5 years now. So,
Nice. It's a
Mm.
long career.
We're
yeah.
lucky.
It's a long career. Cass, I'm so curious. What were some of the limiting beliefs that you realized that you have or had or you're working through?
Um, I do think a lot of it is tied up with my mum, and believing that actually the be all and end all is not living and breathing in my environment where I am now. I've got aspirations, like my goals are beyond where my situation is. And I have to continually remind myself that if I get my head down, if I focus, if I work hard, and if, and I do believe in manifesting, and I'm believing it more and more, that I can get there. And I think most people in my immediate circle think I'm,
We're the crazy ones,
but
right?
Yeah, the
but
Delulu.
I've decided I no longer care. And I think I spent my whole life wanting to fit in. And I realize that I don't need to anymore. And again, this comes round to that whole thing of, oh, like it took me this long to realize that I didn't have to fit in, but that's okay.
It's okay. Like literally, that was me saying just last year. I've started aligning with you all, So, and that took me just over 3 years, just under 4 years, for me to even find the right people I needed to be around in order to continue to pursue my goals and where I'm going with my entrepreneurial journey. So, yeah.
What do you think took you that time, Caroline? Because I was thinking about that when you said that you've started aligning with these people, these incredible women that we've spoken to so far, and who's still to come, just in the last less than 2 years. What do you think changed to get you with these in alignment now?
What changed was I started setting boundaries and realizing that it's like you realize you're pouring more into people more than they're pouring back into you. Like people who I would make time for as friends, for example, a prime example, I used to take the time off work on the weekends. I work in retail, right? So I always work weekends. I was the one sacrificing my weekends, my holidays to go and see the friends that work Monday to Friday. And I had a moment where I was like, hold on a minute. When have they took a day off like during the week or holiday for me? And it was like, Caroline, take a step back actually. You don't message them first. But you see if they message you first. Yo, what happened? 6, 7, 8, 9 months have gone by and I hadn't heard anything from them. So I was like, hold up, right, Caroline, were they actually your people? Because actually, they were
Mm.
only your people when it suited them and when you were making the effort. So they actually didn't even think about you. And that's where it all came from. And it was a bit upsetting at the time because those were people I actually did call good best friends. And then I realized they weren't, and that was where it was then you kind of need to be okay with walking alone for a little while, which I had to do until I then found people like Cass, you know?
Oh,
Mm.
but that's the growth, right? Isn't it? Because I can really relate to that, Caroline. And I think that, you're always going to have your connections to people that have
Mm.
been through your life. But I have literally, again, very similar, spent the last sort of year to 18 months or so rationalizing this whole thing of like, well, what is it? Where's the disconnect? And it's like, it's growth, but it's okay. And I think that's a really important thing because we get so caught up of like, oh, there's a disconnect. Oh, but it's okay because actually, if we're meant to carry on a journey with any particular person or relationship or whatever it is, it will work itself through. It really will. I strongly believe that.
I agree with that.
Now, I do remember you saying as well to me, Sabrina, one time, because I was like, oh, cutting people off, well, I'm going to cut them off. You said to me, you don't have to cut them off. You just have to limit your time around them. Even
Mm,
another example was when someone I'd known for 10 years, I'd gone to see them. We were together for 4 hours. 3.5 hours they spoke. Last half hour, oh, but how are you, Caroline? I just said, I'm good. Was all I said. And it's when you just start to prioritize what actually makes you happy, then you realize what makes you happy doesn't make those people happy. So then what alignment did you have with them
I
to
think
begin with?
I think that's so powerful, and I'm loving what you guys are saying because I think that's one of the concerns. I know I've heard it before from people that I mentor and women that I coach that one of their like main hesitations about pursuing their goals and their dreams is that they're scared that they'll lose some friendships or they're worried that people won't understand and people won't support them or whatever. And exactly what you said, Caroline, is you have to be okay with the possibility of walking alone for a little bit, knowing and
Hmm.
fully
mm,
trusting that that leap of faith will bring you the people that you're supposed to have. And I shared a
mm.
quote on my social media yesterday, and it said, "Stop playing small for people that were never going to celebrate you anyway."
Yo, Prime example, people who have called me their friends and I've not even heard them say well done on podcast. I've not even seen them shared it. They ain't even hit play. I have more strangers hitting play than I have people that say call me them their friends. Oh, I love how the topic's gone to this, you know.
I think it's so I love that this is the direction
Yeah.
we've gone, because I think it is something that people worry about or get bummed out about. You know, they start a business. I
Mm,
want to hear from you, Cass, whether this was your experience in the beginning. You start your business and you think like, all these people that I love and care about me and say they care about me, they're going to support me. They're going to be in here with me. It's going to be so exciting. And then crickets.
complete crickets.
And people
Opening,
get bummed,
right?
people get bummed out about that, and it's the reason I know some people quit. Some people that I've
Mm,
mentored along the journey, they give up because of that, rather than
mm,
having the wherewithal to be like, well, hang on a minute, if you really cared about me, surely you would want to support anything that I did.
mm,
I'm not out
mm.
here trying to murder people and kill babies. Like, I'm wanting to make a living for my future and my family. What's so wrong with that?
Yeah, yeah, yes. I completely agree, and I think that I definitely think there is the adage of, not everybody likes a cup of tea, or
Mm.
some people like their tea with milk. Some people just prefer coffee. That's fine. But ultimately, when you break it down, like you say, it's about the care, the love, and the support of people that you're meant to care, love, and support. And when that's not forthcoming because of whatever it is that you might be doing, yeah, it's a bit like, "Hmm, like what? I can't fit. I'm still trying to figure it out."
Mm, mm. Yeah. Did you have similar experiences like that in the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey too?
Still,
Still now, 5 years
yeah.
in,
So this,
5 years in,
yeah,
even longevity
yeah,
doesn't make them come around.
no, no,
But then, even that though, I feel like as we do climb up that success ladder, more and more of them drop off. There'll be more and more people to go along the way. I've kind of seen it this year, you know, with how my journey's gone. Um, and you know, it can be a bit frustrating because, you know, the success I have on social media isn't even in comparison with what I go through like day to day. Does that make that making
Mm.
sense? And it's like I wish more people like, and it's like we don't highlight so much negatives because we want to focus on the positives. And it's like I shouldn't have to share something bad for you to understand why I'm doing something good. You know, it should just be this is what I'm doing, this is where it's going. You know, you either join me in success and win the success, or you know, just sometimes I'm just like, just go, you know, just go. Sometimes it's easier that way as well. I know it might not be the best, because that was where I was at that when I was saying, you know, cutting people off, and it's sometimes just best just step away from that person. And okay, that's just come into my head. When would we know it's a good time to fully step away from someone or to just keep them there? You know, I mean, have you ever had to fully cut someone off, Sabrina and Cass, along your entrepreneurial journey?
Cass, you take this one first.
um, sort of.
Can you share a bit?
mm,
In a way where it won't highlight anything.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. Or something that could like
think
yeah,
no,
go on.
no. Okay, okay. I mean, I hope that they listen to this in support of me when I'm really excited and sharing, because I've not told anybody I'm doing this with you guys. So because I wanted to keep something for me, and I think that's the thing as well. If I was excited to join you both, and I felt honoured. So, but what was I going to say? All right, now I've forgotten.
Oh, have you had to cut anyone off fully along your journey?
No, but I don't hold the conversations. And that's made the relationship different, because I want to share my wins, I want to share my lows, I want to share my journey. But because of the conversations that have taken place over the years, I now just have a bit of a shutter system that just comes
Mm,
down, and I just don't really, because I'm like, well, you don't support it, so why am I going to share it with you?
yeah.
Is that like
And that
self-protection?
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah. really, I think that's a really good way to look at it, Sabrina. I think ultimately, I will then not be disappointed because they're not responding how I perceive I would like them to. And then, I just think that it just makes it very interesting in terms of the different relationships, like you've alluded to, Caroline, of
Mm.
the building the different relationships where you get excited about different things, and it doesn't actually necessarily have to be about the entrepreneurial journey, but you're
Hmm.
connecting on that. But so you're connecting in different ways on other stuff, and putting yourself in different rooms and
Yeah.
seeing if those rooms work for you, and if not, then try a different room. I mean, I went to my first ever networking event, right, like business networking event I've ever been to in my life. And I mean, I've worked for a long time. I've been around a lot of people, but because I was there representing myself, I felt so vulnerable. And I went along and I was like, I was completely unprepared. I didn't have any of my samples. I barely have a business card on me. But that was because I think I'd already told myself I was out of place. So I didn't prepare myself properly. Whereas if I had have taken my space and been like, I belong here, and don't get me wrong, I had a great time. They were a fantastic group of people. I won a prize without even realizing I won a prize. And I will go back. But my self-talk before I went was, I don't know if I belong in that room, and I'm going to be, and what am I going to say? So I wasn't prepared.
That's such a mature perspective, I think, um, especially when you said about the self-protection thing and not and knowing who it is that you can share your stuff with, and then going to other people to cultivate the relationships where you can share this other side of yourself with. And I think it's so vital, us as human beings, to understand, and this is really hard for people, it's been really hard for me too, to understand that nobody is meant to be everything to you, right? Even your significant other, your spouse, they're not supposed to
Yes.
be your lover, your best friend, your therapist, your
Hmm.
coach, your cheerleader, your, whatever. Nobody is supposed to be everything for anybody.
Yep.
So if that person doesn't fulfill that role of being your cheerleader for you in your business, guess what? That's okay. They don't need to.
Mm,
You can find that in other people that you create relationships with. And I think that's such a hard thing for people to get, especially with people that they really are close to and they love, and they start something new that they're really excited about. Of course, we want the
mm.
people that we care about to be excited about what we're excited about. But just because they're not doesn't mean that what you're doing is bad. And I think that's what people attach it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Caroline.
All I was something when while you was talking through it came into my head is it's the expectations as well. It's people expecting something from it, or expecting the people to behave that type of way, and just because you're excited, okay, that my bestie's going to be excited too because of, and it's like it's not. We have to be okay with, like, for example, my best friend. We are complete opposite. She would never show her face on social media and do what I'm doing, though. But then she's the one that will still like. She's still there with the liking and the commenting, sending me. Even if she doesn't like it, she'll send it to me and write me a message. That is what I love about her. Because I know she's not a social media person. I know she's the one to sit and scroll. And we are okay with how we are, and oh, I just love her so much. I love her, man. She's the best. Well, I've only got one bestie. It's all we need.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Cass? If you remember.
It's gone. No, it'll
Yeah.
come
Always
back.
Gosh.
goes.
Welcome to my world.
I do have one thing, right? Because Cass has been actually listening to our podcast, Sabrina, since last year, right?
Nice.
Then Cash,
Okay.
right? I know, right? She's that OG. She's that OG. And then Cash, you then started following Sabrina. So then I also see that you do
Mm,
like certain of her posts as well. I guess that talk to you. Do
mm.
you have any questions for Sabrina while you have some time with her? I know, because it's like, do you have anything you might want to talk to her about, or ask her, or get any advice on? Because I see you there. I see you.
I'd be honored.
Oh, bless you. Well, I guess obviously you have been doing what you've been doing for quite a while. And yes, you're absolutely right, Caroline. There have been the few posts where I'm like, okay, I can resonate with that. How did you, I know that you've probably said this throughout your podcast of kind of your journey, but how did you get to kind of your, because you seem very stable in where you are. How long did that take you, maybe is a question I would ask.
Gosh, man. I don't know even if I have the answer for that, because I feel as if it's a
It's
constant
ongoing.
it's a constant evolution. Yeah. I look at some posts that I made last year that I think, okay, we're beyond that. We've elevated above that. Whereas in that moment it felt like that was my really great
Mm,
work, you know? So I think
mm-hmm.
it's this it's the ability to trust that you're going to continue to grow as long as you keep doing the things. You know, your skill set is going to continue to evolve,
Mm.
your confidence is going to continue to expand, your knowledge base is going to continue to elevate. Like, as long as you keep doing the work, there's no oh, I made it there. Like, there isn't a place that exists, by the way, in case
Yeah.
anybody
Yes.
is questioning that. There is not an address, you know? So we never get there. We just, if you continue to like prioritize your growth and your healing and your success journey, whatever that means to you, then you're always, it's going
Mm,
to continue to do that. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, and Gio and I, we're like in a phase in our lives making plans for our future and stuff. And he literally said yesterday, we were driving home, and he said, not bad for two gutter rats, which is basically like, he grew up in, you know, council housing in London. I grew up in housing benefits in the countryside. Like, we literally came from nothing, both of us, and
mm,
we have
mm.
the life that we have now, and we're planning for the future that we're planning for. And he was like, not bad for two gutter rats. And I was like, yeah. And the version of me then could never have imagined that this would be my
Mm.
life. And I know
Mm,
that me sitting here looking like in 20 years, when I look back, will never imagine that where we'll be then is possible. So I think it's always having up leveling your belief, up leveling your skill
yeah.
set, like I said, working on all of those things, because you said it, Cass, like the sky is like, nobody ever taught us that. Nobody ever told us that the sky was the limit, or even more, there is no limit. So we have to
Mm,
teach ourselves
mm.
that, and every day continue to live into that. I don't know if
Yeah.
that
And I
answers your
think what,
question.
no, I think that's really fine, but because it actually touches on something that you said, Caroline, in one of your this season about the, we live in an instant gratification, right? So, Caroline, you mentioned the lady who, oh, well, I want to be an influencer, but I've only
Mm.
posted five
Yeah.
times in a month, for example.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. And definitely for me, it's that thing of continual understanding the continuum, because when I was young, I wanted to do various things, but I just wanted to do them. And I had no concept, and nobody sat me down and spoke to me and said, "Do you know what? You want to reach these heady heights of this, but you've got to do all of this to get
Mm.
there." I just wanted to just drop myself in and be like, ta-da, I'm here, kind of. Yeah, and actually that's what I was thinking today was understanding how evolved my personal growth mindset has come. And it's not like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, like anybody else hasn't done that as well. But that's been huge for me, because when I was going through the challenges I was going through in my previous employment, I had a very fixed mindset. I knew I wanted something different. I knew I wanted something else, but I was being badgered into this kind of funnel, and I couldn't find my way out of it. So I just went, and the shutters were on, and it was like, no, I don't want that. And it was,
Mm.
well, I don't know what I do want. So I think the combination it's ever evolving. So no, that does,
Mm.
Sabrina, a very long response to your answer.
No, but I think you're so right. I think you're so right. It's like, we have to be okay with the process and
Mm.
understanding. I don't know if we've said this season already, but understanding that the process is the success. The
Yes.
journey
The
is
joke is,
the
yeah.
success. If we're thinking still trying to find there, the journey is there because it's who we become
Mm,
through the process of it that's the magic. It's not what we get on the other side, because who we become is the one that creates that, that builds that, that receives that. You can't get there without the becoming part. And I think that's what so many people miss.
yeah, yeah. I had a good wake up call yesterday on a phone call actually, because they reminded me of what my goal was. They said, "You're still doing working towards," and I was like, "Oh, yes, I am." It was like after a rather manic week. So yeah, yeah, it is the journey, and I didn't realize that I was working really hard to get there to that unattainable address, and now I'm much more chill in my like enjoy what the moment.
Is. Can you believe? I can't believe where that 30 minutes has gone. It's like, what do you mean?
I
Like,
know.
Cass, is
So
there
good.
anything that you'd like to leave for the listeners? Like, any motivational, anything that comes
Tidbit.
to your mind that you'd like to tell someone? Yeah, just so that they can make sure they keep going, or if they're feeling having a down day, or just anything you'd like to share for just before we sign off.
I think it's just that you are enough. We are enough. Just keep going. You are.
They've all been
Yeah.
similar, haven't they?
Mm,
Like there's been be you, be
mm.
authentic, keep going, you are enough. Oh my gosh, these are getting so emotional.
And I
Ah,
think I think that just speaks to what it is that we're all most concerned about. Like we're all
yeah.
most concerned that we're not good enough, that we're fake it till we make it, that all of those fears are what lie in here. So
Mm,
when you hear people say you are enough, just be you, like just keep going, then I think it resonates so deeply because those are all the things that we each are so concerned about. Thank you for that, Cass. That was
Yeah,
so beautiful.
it
thank
was.
you.
And then on that note, listeners, episode
That's
is
it.
done.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys. Thanks, Cass. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise.